Hello and welcome. Today, author R.T. Cagle shares another inspiring story from the Bedtime Stories with Heart and Soul series, written to help you slow down, reflect, and end the day with a little more peace. Now, here's the author.
Hello, my name is author R.T. Cagles. Today's story is called A Long Time Ago. So let's get started. A long time ago, there was a kingdom named Beldoria. The kingdom was nestled between towering mountains on one side and vast, endless forests on the other. Its people were peaceful and kind, living harmoniously with nature, guided by the wisdom of their elders and the traditions passed down through generations. The kingdom was known far and wide for its beauty and prosperity, but it was also a land of legends, of ancient heroes, powerful sorcery, and mysterious creatures that roamed its borders. In the heart of Beldoria, atop a hill overlooking the kingdom, stood the grand castle of King Haldric. His Majesty King Haldric was a fair and just ruler, beloved by his people. His reign had been peaceful for many years, thanks in no small part to the kingdom's greatest asset, a magical artifact known as the Star of Beldoria. This radiant gem, said to have been a gift from the gods themselves, had the power to protect the land from harm. As long as the star remained in Beldoria, no enemy could ever breach its borders, and no disaster could befall the land. But the star's magic was coveted, and the peace it brought was fragile. King Haldric had a daughter, Princess Lyra, who was as wise as she was beautiful. She had been raised to one day take the throne, and from an early age, she was taught the ways of diplomacy, governance, and the sacred duties that came with the royal lineage. But Princess Lyra was not content with palace life. Though she loved her father and her kingdom, her heart longed for adventure, for the wild lands beyond the kingdom's borders, and for the freedom that came with the unknown. One fateful day, when the sky was cloudless and the winds were still, a strange visitor came to Beldoria. He was a tall man, draped in dark, flowing robes that shimmered as though woven from shadows themselves. His face was hidden beneath a hood, and his voice was a soft whisper that carried on the wind. He introduced himself as Morgul, a traveler from a distant land, and he asked for an audience with the king. Though Morgul was strange and unsettling, King Haldric welcomed him with the hospitality that was the custom of Beldoria. In the grand hall of the castle, Morgul presented himself before the king, bowing low. "I have come," Morgul said, his voice echoing through the hall, "to warn you of a great danger. The peace of Beldoria is at risk. Forces from beyond the mountains are gathering. They seek the Star of Beldoria, and they will stop at nothing to possess its power." King Haldric's face grew grave. "How do you know this?" Morgul smiled beneath his hood. "I have traveled far and wide. I have seen what is coming, but I also know how to prevent it." The king listened intently as Morgul spoke of a ritual that could strengthen the star's magic, making it impenetrable even to the most powerful enemies. But there was a cost. Someone of royal blood would have to undertake a dangerous journey to the Forbidden Peaks, a place where few dared to go. There, they would find the flame of eternity, a fire that could reignite the star's power. The king was torn. He knew that such a journey was fraught with peril, and he could not bear the thought of sending anyone from his family. But he also knew that without the star's magic, Beldoria would be vulnerable. "I will go," came a voice from the back of the hall. All eyes turned to Princess Lyra, who stepped forward with determination in her eyes. "I will retrieve the flame of eternity." "No," King Haldric said, shaking his head. "It is too dangerous, Lyra. I cannot ask you to do this." "You're not asking," Lyra replied softly. "I'm offering. I've trained my whole life for this moment. I know the risks. But I also know what's at stake. Let me protect our people." After a long silence, the king reluctantly agreed. Preparations were made, and before the sun rose the next day, Princess Lyra set out on her journey. Accompanied by a small group of trusted guards and the enigmatic Morgul as her guide. The road to the Forbidden Peaks was long and treacherous. They traveled through dense forests where the trees seemed to whisper secrets, across rushing rivers that threatened to sweep them away, and over desolate plains where the wind howled like a wild beast. Each night, Morgul would sit apart from the group, his face turned toward the mountains, as if he were listening to something only he could hear. As they journeyed, strange things began to happen. The nights grew colder, more than they should have been. The stars in the sky flickered like dying embers, and the moon appeared to wane faster with each passing night. There were moments when Lyra felt as though they were being watched, though she could never see anyone or anything in the shadows. One evening, Lyra approached Morgul. "You've been silent for most of this journey," she said. "Tell me, what do you really know of this place? What lies ahead?" Morgul was quiet for a long time. "The flame of eternity is no ordinary fire. It is ancient, older than this land, older than the stars themselves. It was forged by forces beyond our comprehension, and it is both a blessing and a curse. To wield its power, you must prove yourself worthy." Lyra narrowed her eyes. "What do you mean?" "Not everyone who seeks the flame finds it," Morgul said. "Those who are unworthy are consumed by it." His words sent a chill down Lyra's spine, but she refused to let fear control her. The next day, they began the ascent of the Forbidden Peaks. The path was steep and treacherous, with jagged rocks and narrow ledges. The air grew thin, making it difficult to breathe, and the wind whipped at them with icy fury. But Lyra pressed on. At last, they reached the summit. There, nestled in a cave, was the flame of eternity, a blazing fire that burned with a light so bright. Lyra stepped forward, her heart pounding. She knew that this was the moment of truth. As she reached out, a voice echoed in her mind. "Are you worthy?" it asked. "I am," Lyra whispered. "I will do whatever it takes to protect my people." The flame flickered. Then, slowly, it shifted from a brilliant white to a deep, glowing blue. Lyra felt a surge of energy. The heat was intense, but it did not burn her. Instead, it filled her with a sense of power and purpose. She grasped a small ember. As she did, she felt a connection to something vast and ancient. The Star of Beldoria was a link to the heart of the universe. But as Lyra turned to leave, she saw Morgul standing at the entrance, his hood thrown back to reveal a face twisted with malice. "You fool!" he hissed. "You've done exactly what I wanted." Lyra's eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" Morgul laughed. "The flame of eternity is not a gift. It is a weapon. And now you have opened the door for me to claim it." Lyra realized the truth. Morgul had used her. But Lyra was not about to let that happen. With the power of the flame, she raised her hand. She unleashed a torrent of blue fire at Morgul. The flames engulfed him, turning him into a wisp of smoke that vanished. Breathing heavily, Lyra stood alone. She knew now that her journey was far from over. There would always be other threats. With the ember in her grasp, Lyra made her way back. She returned to Beldoria as a hero, the star reignited stronger than ever before. But she also returned as a guardian of the delicate balance between light and darkness. And so the legend of Princess Lyra grew. A story of courage and sacrifice. Beldoria thrived once more, but its people never forgot the price of peace, or the bravery of the princess who had journeyed to the Forbidden Peaks to save them all in a land far, far away. Thank you for joining me.
Hello again. As we come to a close, remember to like, subscribe, and follow us so you don't miss a single adventure. Thank you for spending this heartfelt moment with us. Until next time, we hope this story brought you a little peace as the day comes to a close.